Austin, Unique, New York.
Hey, how you doing, Matt? You're a personal hero of mine.
Oh, great, thanks.
Yeah.
Now stop having heroes.
Well,
You're gonna find yourself woefully disappointed.
Oh no! It's pretty interesting that you don't have kids yet. I bet your kid would be an awesome combined with you and Beth. You'd have great kids.
Oh,
Anyways,
thanks. I'm better as an uncle.
Well, actually, I called for another reason, but your caller screen kind of convinced me to go to another task. The main thing I called about is that I recently I got charity from a Catholic organization, and I consider myself an atheist. I wonder if that was ethically wrong of me. But
How would it be ethically wrong?
Excuse me?
So a Catholic charity gave you some money and you're an atheist and you think there's something wrong with that?
Well, they provided me a service.
Oh, okay.
Dental care. And I'm a atheist. I'm proud to be an atheist. I even have the tagline that I'm a patriarch to 3 generations of atheists. But recently I'm starting to think maybe I'm wrong here. Maybe I'm just not Christian. Because more and more things happen to me. Good things happen to me. Them taking care of my teeth. I was an awful way with my mouth, and they came along when nobody else would, and it took me out of dental pain. Dental pain is so exquisite.
So some people helped you out, and this is enough to make you think that there might be a God?
Well, no, it's not just that. That's like maybe one of the most recent things that have happened to me. It's just like there's sensations and generations, things that happen that go on beyond science. I think God isn't a scientific God, so you're not going to find scientific truth.
Okay, so why would you believe in something like that?
It's just it goes beyond the dimension of anything I can share with you, and you know that.
I don't know what that means.
Well, you experienced it before yourself, and you stopped. So you know what I mean.
I experience things for which I have some natural explanations. I've certainly experienced other things that I don't understand, but that doesn't mean if I don't understand it, I don't then get to say, oh, the best explanation is God.
Well, again, I'm not so certain it is even a God, but maybe more of like a consciousness that exists.
Why would you think that?
Well, you heard of sativa, right?
Sorry?
You've heard of sativa, right? Salvia?
Sure.
Oh, that's right.
Salvia divinorum, yeah.
Yes, sativa too.
So you get some drugs in your system. Why on earth would you think that a brain on a chemical is going to give you more accurate understanding of something than off that chemical? And even if it gave you some understanding, how do you determine that this is some consciousness or something actually supernatural? I mean,
brother, your brain runs on chemicals. I put a chemical into my
no.
brain.
You are specifically chemically altering the way your brain works to the so let's say there are people. Us. No, how do you know it's better? Us. How do you know it's better? Should we stop locking people up?
Excuse me, I don't see the segue.
So people have all kinds of mental issues that result in strong delusions. How do we identify whether or not they're delusions?
Okay, well, that's interesting. I guess we have to look on how they affect person. If the person comes away from a delusion happier, smiling all the time, at peace with themselves, finally rid themselves of guilt and other things that just plagued their lives, I think that was a damn fine hallucination they had, and they should have them as often as they
I would
want.
agree that it's a damn fine hallucination, but it's a hallucination.
Still a hallucination, yeah.
I can look us. I can look at a nice movie or a flower garden or listen to a piece of music and come away feeling more positive and happier in general. But that doesn't mean that there's something supernatural about it.
No, I certainly agree that doesn't necessarily mean it is. But it's similar in that sense,
Okay.
How you feel. But it still takes you. It's more than that. It's just that I think.
How is it more than that?
Well, the conservation of energy law.
Whoa! Stop! Because at this point you're approaching like prank caller status, and
No,
I don't.
I'm not.
And I don't want to get there. You're talking about.
I agree. It's sure you're
You're talking about experiences And I ask, and you're using language that is very vague, like it's more than that. It's a higher dimension. All of this stuff is utterly meaningless. And when I ask how, now you get to the law of conservation of mass and energy.
Right. Well, of energy
What the
specifically.
hell does that have to do with what a experience you had on a drug?
It wasn't just I don't even know how to pronounce it.
Salvia
That was
divinorum.
only a one-time thing. I've done acid and alcohol
Me
and
too.
everything else.
Me too.
And the thing is that I just know, the law of conservation of energy has to do with that when you die, the energy that is you doesn't just disappear. Anything that you had that existed and you exist in some form, and maybe it's not a scientific form.
Hey, when a battery runs out, where did that energy go?
The potential energy is still there. The energy
No. A dead battery is done. A dead battery doesn't have.
It's expended its energy, so now it's just a cell, like the body will continue to be. But it did expel energy through its life.
Yes, you realize that your body's burning what you're going to call energy, which is kind of muddy terminology, all the time, right? That this is how I'm talking to you, how I move around.
Well, I still don't. My point is, your battery analogy isn't a very good one.
Why not?
Because a dead battery lived its life, expended its energy, and its energy was used to power things and do things.
Yeah. Why is that any less true of us when we're dead?
Man, because all right, I can feel it, and I know it's there.
I'm sorry?
I can feel it, and I know that it's there.
You can feel it, and you know that it's there.
It doesn't have to. You always want a scientific truth, and what we're talking about isn't even science.
Okay, I'm in agreement that what we're talking about isn't even science. My question is, why would you believe it? Do you not care about whether or not it's true, or are you just going to go with what you feel?
I just know what I have experienced.
Okay, there's lots of experiences. Does that mean that those experiences are that your conclusions about those experiences are accurate?
Well, again, it goes back to how I walked away from that experience. I think I'm a better person. I'm more outgoing, and I used to be so shy and retired.
Go ahead.
Before.
How do you get from there to God, though? Is I think what
Well, he's not sure it's God.
Well, that's the thing. I don't know if there is necessarily God.
or something higher,
a
or
single individual being that's out looking out for me. No, I don't believe that.
So every time I do something that makes me happier and a better person, is it likely that this is because there's some consciousness in the universe that I'm unaware of?
That you're feeding into that. Maybe we're nothing.
How do you know that?
Maybe we're all individuals, or not individuals.
Did you just say maybe?
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
Okay, how do you know that's even possible, let alone likely?
I never suggested that it even was likely. I'm just suggesting that maybe there's potentialities out there that go beyond the scientific explanation. That you can't use.
So you can't just begin with a maybe. When we're talking about why you believe something, hey, maybe we're all part of a cosmic consciousness. Maybe there's a God. Maybe there are universe creating pixies. Maybe there is some cosmic mind out there that is poking its tendrils into our brains through some process we don't know. And maybe it's all bullshit. How do you tell the difference between those possibilities?
I would suppose that my mind was being fed with tentacles from some space alien. It wouldn't make me feel better.
It wouldn't? How did you determine that if your mind was being probed by space aliens, it wouldn't make you feel better? What if they're really nice and their goal is to make you feel better? How did you determine that that's not the case?
Well, you know, Matt, the first time you saw Beth, you felt something inside you that science couldn't measure. There's things beyond.
The first time I saw Beth, I felt something that science couldn't measure. Please prove that.
how do you know that?
I assume the first time you saw her, your heart fluttered and you felt
Well,
something.
actually, you should probably stop assuming, first of all. But what you're talking about there, the attraction and the love, those things are physical processes in a body, which in many cases we can actually measure. We put people in an MRI, we can determine what parts of the brains are active. We know about serotonin levels, the dopamine, and stuff like that. Why would you conclude that there's something more to that, and that you're right about what the something more is?
Well, it just goes from my own intuition.
Yeah, I don't care about
my
some,
life.
I'm sorry, Oz. I don't care about intuitions. Is there anything that somebody couldn't justify with an intuition? How is your intuition any different from faith?
Well, I agree that faith is a pretty ridiculous concept.
And yet intuition isn't?
No, I don't think intuition is.
Okay.
It's like foreknowledge, you know, like women's intuition, where they can kind of forecast or tell there's something up with the family and stuff like that.
You do know that that's crap, right?
That, you know, I don't ever play the lottery, but today I'm going to play the lottery, and guess what? I won. I got my scratch off one.
Okay, you do know that what you're appealing to is not actually real, right? That there is no such thing as women's intuition.
No, I don't know that.
Well, then you should probably go out to like a site like the Skeptics Dictionary. You should probably find yourself a little bit more involved in the skeptics community. You should think about what we can test and demonstrate. So, like, I had somebody write to me about astrology just yesterday. Do you think astrology is real?
I know that you don't, but I know that generations of and millions and billions of people.
I asked what you believe. I don't care about other people right now. Do you believe that there's something to astrology?
I think that the way we're spoon-fed it here in America, it's pretty bogus. But I think
I didn't even understand what you said.
I think the way that it's packaged and presented to us here is different. People get it, you know, in little, you know, posters and the daily horoscope that they're reading in the newspaper.
Okay, but you think,
practice of casting your stars and
I didn't ask for an explanation of it. I know what it is. I'm asking, do you think it's real?
Yes, I think it's real.
Then please explain how identical twins live different lives.
I guess they are. They're going to live different lives.
But they're identical twins. They're born under the same star signs. They're born at the same day, very close to the same time.
You want me to explain how that they had the different life interpretations and the different events that they reacted differently to, and therefore that's what some of they are. It proves astronomy is wrong. I don't think that proves astronomy is wrong.
Astrology, there's a difference.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I misspoke.
I'm not asking you to prove that it's wrong. I'm asking you to prove that it's right. You're the one who accepts that there's something real there. And the counter argument to astrology, that one of the first ones, is that twins don't live identical lives.
Well, then that would be precisely why astrology wouldn't be correct.
Bye. All right, so.
I have trouble believing he was an atheist for 40 years.
I don't know. It's one of those.
Something changed.
There's a lot of confusion there. To me, the twin thing is the short, immediate version. But there's more to this. We've actually tested things like astrology, where you can hand out detailed star chart readings for people and give them to a whole bunch of people, and as long as you tell them that this was a custom reading done for them based on when they were born and all the information, they consistently say that these are accurate, even if you give the same reading to a whole room full of people, all who were born at different times and dates.
Confirmation bias.
The sorts of things that we identify as women's intuition, it's not, first of all, you have to demonstrate that there's a phenomenon there. This is one of the things that the JREF does, the James Rand Educational Foundation. You have to demonstrate that you can produce some phenomenon. And it turns out that every time we start testing these things, what we think is women's intuition or psychic premonitions or anything like this works at about the rate of chance. And what's actually happening most of the time is that we are remembering the hits and forgetting the misses. You know, when the phone rings and you think you know who's on the other end, then you pick it up and you're right. That's impactful. It sticks with you. It is something you remember, and it's, holy cow, how did that happen? It couldn't just be coincidence. But if you actually track all of the times you've picked up the phone and how many times you've thought that somebody was on the other end and how many times you were right versus not right, what you find? Chance. And if you find something more than that, then you can apply and you can win the $1 million prize.